Hello, I'm ABX Toycat and welcome back to another texture pack video. Today I have a fun one for all of you because we're going to be going through the top 10 worst looking blocks in Minecraft as voted by all of you, the viewers, as well as the top 10 best looking blocks, but we're going through all of them in each of the different texture packs. That's currently like 15 or so as I record this video, and it should be quite a fun time because some of the, really cool looking blocks might look terrible in some texture packs and vice versa. Maybe some of the worst looking blocks are some of the best in some of texture packs. Who knows? That's what we're going to find out today, and hopefully you do all like it, because if you do, I'd very much appreciate a like rating because it helps out the channel a lot and lets me know you do like it. I want to see more stuff like this. Anyway, yeah, let's get straight into it, shall we? So let's start by going to the first texture pack on our list, which alphabetically would be the candy texture pack. So let's hop out and go there now. So I do want to keep things short because obviously there's a bunch of texture packs, and the last time I made one of these videos it took close to half an hour, but the Candyland texture pack, even just the cursory glance I gave it, is looking pretty cool already because everything's edible and it really has mixed things up because mycelium looks like a really nice tasty cake. Soul Sand, I'm still not down with Soul Sand. Dirt looks like it's a really nice giant cookie, which actually makes it one of the cooler blocks in this texture pack. And yeah, if you just kind of look along the list to like Podzol, to like Granite, to Bedrock, it all looks pretty cool, including of course the Netherrack, which I imagine makes the Nether look really, really cool. So, of course, the Dead Bush is not one of the worst looking blocks in this texture pack. In fact, I'd argue it's one of the coolest ones because it's one of the very few textures in the game which is animated. That's both the Dead Bush and the Shrub, in case you're curious, and it's a very cool animation that you can just stare at and go on and on and on for quite some time with. But we don't have the time to do that today, and we must move on to the worst looking block, which is Gravel. And as you can see, Gravel isn't even so terrible. So I guess that, this texture pack does some wonders if it can make Gravel look terrible. So, not look terrible, sorry. So, yeah, let's move on from that to the best looking block. So the best looking blocks, again, some of these are just weird, like, what even is this and why is that there? Some of them look like they do normally, so if you look at the Lapis Lazuli, for instance, I think that's Lapis Lazuli, or maybe this is Lapis Lazuli. Things get a bit confusing for the whole thing. Then yeah, if you just look around, it's like, oh yeah, I guess this all kind of makes sense. So, oh no, this is Red Mushroom block. Oh, right, this is very, very bizarre. So, yeah, this is, one of the coolest blocks in vanilla, one of the just bizarre ones in this texture pack, it seems, which means this is Lapis, this is chiseled quartz block then, this is Emerald, this is Slime, this is regular quartz. So yeah, quartz is just not a great looking block, unless you like your snowman smiley faces. And then, of course, scrolling through the rest here, we've got the Prismarine based blocks, including the Sea Lantern, and I guess Prismarine has the coolest little glow in this texture pack, so that's kind of nice, I guess. Let's move on from the Candyland texture pack to the cartoon one, though. So I'm always excited for the cartoon texture pack for any one of these videos, and given just how good the candy texture pack was, I think it's going to be pretty cool. And even just giving it a cursory glance, it's like, yeah, some of these blocks are just kind of whacking all over the place, such as Sponge over here, which I think I mistook for Dirt, actually. So I guess Sponge is the great one, the candy texture pack, my bad. It's actually funny how every now and then, like, I can't even recognize what something is. And yeah, Sponge in this one just has these super wide moons. And again, I think arguably this stops being one of the worst looking blocks and starts being a really cool one. It could work in a super cartoony build, and I like that. I like the texture packs can do that. Soul Sand, it's got the really cool little ghost faces that I like a lot better in the cartoon texture pack. The Mycelium, again, it's just different. I still don't think it's great or anything, and that kind of goes for a lot of these blocks over here. You look, you've got really cool Netherrack, super, super glow with a really nice fire up there. We've got the Dead Bushes looking arguably worse than normal, and then we've got Gravel, which I didn't know was possible, but again, it looks just as bad even though it's in a texture pack. So I guess they stayed true to the original block in that way, so I guess that's something to work for. And yeah, let's move on to the best looking blocks, shall we? Which all look like they do normally, but it's still just as good. So we got Red Mushroom block, again, stunning block, even cooler looking. Doesn't work as a dice, but it's still pretty cool. We've got Lapis Lazuli, we've got Chiseled Quartz, which I guess that's chiseled. The regular quartz, of course, we got Emerald block, Slime block, which I do quite like the Slime block because the little slime dripping off it. And then we've got the Prismarine and Finger Blaze blocks, and the Diamond block. So yeah, I really actually do like the Prismarine brick here. As you can see, it's got the kind of same stone brick thing, but with this really nice kind of fade to it. And also, I really like the Sea Lantern. Again, I think, this list might need some rearranging, but these are still some of the best looking blocks in the texture pack, which is kind of interesting if you ask me, because not all of these are the worst looking ones, but a lot of these still are the best looking ones in my opinion. So yeah, let's move on from this one to the next texture pack. So now we have the City texture pack, and the City texture pack is one that a lot of builders really do like, and you can see with this texture pack, things are going a little bit weird and different. But let's start with the worst looking block, shall we? So Soul Sand, really nice kind of, they remove the skulls altogether and they've got this weird kind of marking on there. I think that's kind of cool and bizarre. Sponge block has turned into brains, which I don't know why that's there, but I do quite like it. I don't know if that makes it a good-looking block, but it makes it a weird one. By the way, that's wet sponge up there. This is dry sponge. In case you're curious, scrolling along the list, we don't see anything particularly, striking. I think granite, again, it's got an interesting texture, and you can make some pretty cool builds with it. Same with bedrock. Bedrock isn't terrible. It's actually just kind of looking like a coal block. And then we've got netherrack, dead bushes, again, looking just as terrible. And gravel, which, this is actually designed for pathways. Everyone says, "Oh, gravel's great for pathways." No, this is great for pathways. Gravel's just good because it looks terrible. I'm going to stop riffing on gravel every time we come here. So let's move on from that to the red mushroom block. Again, I don't like it too much, but it is kind of similar. We've got lapis lazuli and then chiseled quartz. Where what even is this? I really like this. Like, it's this super cool block. It just doesn't feel like it belongs in Minecraft for some reason. So yeah, this might be one of my favorite blocks in any texture pack, I think. Then we've got, of course, emerald over here. Again, nice little fade. Slime blocks, got the nice little slime thing on there. Regular quartz, which looks, I don't know how you get that by chiseling that, but I guess that's the logic here. And then prismarine diamond blocks and the sea lantern, which sea lantern in this texture pack, again, you can just see this being used for some really cool things, and I like that. So yeah, city texture pack got a really good job on the top 10 best looking blocks. It's got a good job on 2 or 3 of the worst looking blocks, and that's nice enough, I guess. Also brains. So yeah, let's move on to the fantasy texture pack. Okay, so the fantasy texture pack is one that I've always mentioned is one of my favorites, and I'm curious if I am to use my favorite texture pack, is it going to be one that's particularly great? And looking to the left, you can see soul sand, extra creepy faces. I like it. Mycelium, just I don't like it at all. Sponges, just looks like sponges but with more holes. I guess it works better as like a weird spooky Swiss cheese, I guess. I mean, if spooky Swiss cheese is what you're going for, then this one's got you covered, because it looks like it has a bunch of faces in there. Like, look at that, look at that. Maybe that's just me. Maybe I notice faces and everything. But that's just that right there. Then of course we've got the the dirt and the and the podzol next to it. Granite looking pretty swell if I say so myself. I do quite like that. Bedrock, again, super nice smooth texture. Same with netherrack. Not so much true of gravel. I mean, it's got the same. Yeah, they're really good at getting the same garbage look. And then we've also got the bed bushes and the shrubs over here. So I actually do quite like these, although they are designed to look kind of weird. I think they could make like a decent pathway block or something. Sorry, not pathway block. I think they could make some decent like pathway decorations and stuff. And I think that'd be pretty cool. So top 10 worst looking blocks. Most of them still fit that criteria. I'd argue all of them, besides maybe the granite and the bedrock. So yeah, the top 10 best looking blocks on the other hand, again, not all of them meet the same criteria of being the best, because looking at the red mushroom block, it's like, okay then. We're looking at the lapis lazuli block, it's like, ooh, that's actually kind of fancy. And the same is true for emerald and diamonds, of course. They took the exact same like gold frame with some stuff on the inside. I don't like it too much, although it is a really nice texture. I can see a lot of people do liking. One of the interesting things about this is the slime texture is actually blue, because slimes are all blue on this, and chiseled quartz and regular quartz, they're not quite as clean as their default texture pack look. Like, they look both just a little bit off. I think if the vote was based entirely on this, neither of these would probably make it on there. Prismarine, on the other hand, looking pretty good there. And if you like your gold, looking pretty good here. But I think it's one of the weakest sea lanterns, and indeed, this is probably one of the weakest sets of, best looking blocks in the game. So maybe if you like your best looking blocks to be different, this is the texture pack for you. Or if you like things that make sense, then we'll move on to the next one, which I think is the Halo texture pack. I may have made the mistake of forgetting about the festive texture pack, but we're here now, and it's technically a mashup pack, so just bear that in mind. It's a little bit more expensive, so if you like something here, then it will cost you a little bit more than the regular texture pack, at like 3 times as much, which is only like £2 something, but just keep that in mind, because as we look at mycelium, it looks like a nice Christmas cake block all by itself, which is cool. As we look at soul sand next to it, I like that it has snowman faces. It went from being like, one of the scarier blocks to being like, look, it's the snowman faces I'm trading on. So I think that's actually a cool little addition. I think if you're going for a festive build, I think soul sand is a real good block for that. So sponge is green for reasons that I guess we don't get to know the answer to. Dirt and podzol are they look interesting, I guess. I can't compliment them in any way. We've got granite and bedrock looking, ooh, yeah, I do like the granite a lot. It's pink, but it's a good enough pink, I guess. Bedrock, again, looking interesting enough. Then we've got netherrack, which is made from snow, which doesn't make too much sense when it's on fire, but we'll just say, we'll let that pass for now. Then we've got the dead bushes and the shrubs, which again, they got a nice bit of snow to make things festive. And then we've got gravel, which looks like a mushroom block for some reason. So there's that on the worst looking blocks. But what about the best looking? Because we've got, of course, our red mushroom, or our green mushroom block as it is now, our lapis lazuli. In fact, the same thing here is true, where diamond, emerald, and lapis all have the same kind of pattern to them. Slime blocks are pink, which matches the granite quite well, interestingly enough. Chiseled quartz and regular quartz, again, I kind of like chiseled quartz here. Not too big a fan of regular quartz, but that's just me. And then we've got the the sea lantern based bricks, so sea lantern, prismarine brick, and prismarine, all looking pretty good. Although prismarine isn't animated for some reason, so there's that going on there. And also, I don't really like the sea lantern so much. This is definitely not the best looking block in this texture pack. I'd argue the best looking block here might be the green mushroom, or maybe that's just me, or maybe it's the granite and some stuff like that. I'm not entirely sure, but it's definitely not the sea lantern. So yeah, this is the festive texture pack. The next one totally is the Halo mashup pack though. So yeah, this is the Halo mashup pack. As you can see, they've changed it a little bit. No, okay, this is the Greek mythology mashup pack. Again, always forgetting about it, even though it is the most recent mashup pack. Just maybe like 8 months old now. So yeah, the Greek mythology mashup pack, pretty cool in a lot of ways, but what about the best and worst looking blocks? Looking at them, I'm not seeing anything too striking here. Like, Soul Sand's interesting, like, I think it's slightly animated there, right? Yeah, Soul Sand's slightly animated in this texture pack, very, very slightly, but still, something worth pointing out. We've got the sponge and the wet sponge, We've got dirt and Podzol, looking to the right here, we've got granite. Oh wait, that's not granite. We've got granite and we've got bedrock. And I don't know. That is granite. So I do like the fact that granite is changing so much from texture pack to texture pack. Like, it really adds a bunch of new stuff for survival, but not too much going on there. Bedrock, pretty cool as always. Netherrack, interesting. I guess the Nether's blue in this one. And then we've got dead bushes, shrubs, and gravel. So gravel, gravel fits its normal bill, which is good. I'm glad they make it the worst block, so that's always a cool thing, because as we move on to these blocks, we get some really, really bizarre ones. So first of all, red mushroom block is orange and doesn't look like mushroom. I guess we don't get to question that one for now. We've got lapis lazuli, which looks pretty good, I guess. We've got chiseled quartz and regular quartz. Again, I like that this is the same kind of block, but with this chiseled some again. Actually, yeah, I do quite like that. I think regular quartz is definitely the one to use, though. Then we've got emerald and slime blocks. Slime blocks, kind of weird. Emerald blocks, super weird. I don't like the outline on that at all. Then we've got the diamonds, and we've got the prismarine base blocks. So, again, prismarine doesn't seem to have an animated texture, which is interesting. Prismarine bricks, I really, really, really like in this for some reason. And then the sea lantern, not so big a fan as some of the ones we've seen already. So yeah, this is the Greek mythology. Next up, we'll be moving on. Oh no, it's gonna be next up, we'll be moving on to the Halloween mashup pack. Yeah, because there's that I always forget about. I think it's a little suspicious that all the mashup packs have very close names alphabetically, so that I go for like 3 before I get to Halo. But either way, here we are in the Halloween 2015 mashup pack. It's technically the Halloween texture pack too, but it's the same thing really with some different textures. So first of all, mycelium and soul sand. Soul sand, nice and spooky, liking it. Mycelium, I guess it's probably spooky, so I should like it in that way. Then we've got, of course, the sponges here. Again, they just look so muddy in this one. They look worse than default, in my opinion. Then we've got dirt and podzol. Podzol I really do like, because it looks like, I don't know, just the orange thing on top actually really makes a nice little striking block. So this is one of the better looking, it's the best looking dirt-based block anyway. Then we've got granite, which is extra ugly, because Halloween, spooky granite, or something. Then we've got bedrock, of course. Netherrack, I really, really like Netherrack. Dead bushes, and then gravel. So nothing too much to say there besides Netherrack's awesome, granite's extra bad, and podzol is surprisingly good. So moving on to the best looking blocks, again we've got the thing where the diamond, the gold and the iron blocks do this too, but yeah, diamond's got a moon on it, the emerald's got a Japanese sign on it, or maybe a person. Maybe I'm terrible at that. And then we've got a triangle on the lapis lazuli or I guess it's the Illuminati sign, isn't it? But anyway, let's move through this. As we've got the red mushroom block, which has not red in any way and just kind of bland. So this is just dull and boring, but maybe you like it anyway. We've got the chiseled quartz, again, looking pretty good, but not so amazing. We've got slime blocks, which I like that they're so different than they usually are. Like they're kind of spooky and ghostly, I guess, because slime's a ghost in this. And then we've got the regular quartz over here. Prismarine, super crazy spooky. I do quite like that. Then prismarine brick, not so big a fan. But the sea lantern itself, I could see that working in some interesting builds. So not the best, but not the worst by any means, which is kind of nice, I guess. So yeah, let's move on from this one to what is now definitely the Halo mashup pack. I always look forward to going through the Halo mashup pack because someone always points out how something's a big Halo reference that I just don't understand, because I only ever played Halo multiplayer. I never bothered with the single player because I just didn't enjoy it. It's just a point there in case it's like, no, this is actually the Master Chief's face toy cat. But no, okay, these are the worst looking blocks. Mycelium looks kind of unique because it's got a super kind of alien glow to it. Soul Sand just looks dull and boring, but sponges are green again. I'll take it, I guess. Podzol again, not too great. I'm the standard is now the one from before. We've got granite, which is pretty cool. Bedrock, which is Netherrack, The bushes, actually both kind of nice. They've got a lot of color to them, which is, I guess, kind of cool there. And then we've got gravel, which also fits the bill of air. So what about the best looking blocks? If as all the worst looking blocks all looking bad, will the best looking blocks look good? Well, not the red mushroom block. Actually, the lapis lazuli I do quite like. Chiseled quartz has this really cool effect that you could use for a halo build. Then, of course, we've got emerald, which has a super nice green glow to it. I don't know why the green glow attracts me so much there. Purple slimes, regular quartz, then, of course, the diamond block and the prismarine base block. So, the sea lantern isn't even a sea lantern, but it is a cool, like, kind of halo effect, so I like that quite a bit, and it's animated, which is a nice little secret. Of course, we've got the prismarine and the prismarine brick, which, again, don't really relate to each other, and I don't know, this might be the worst looking prismarine brick, because all the other ones at least were bricks. This one's just weird purple stuff. So, yeah, I quite like it in a lot of ways, but, actually, no, I don't like it in a lot of ways. I like the sea lantern, I like the slimes, and I like the emerald blocks. Everything else, I think this is just all too bad to me. But again, maybe this is the Master Chief's face. Oh, maybe this is the Master Chief's face, and I'm just not seeing it. So anyway, yeah, let's move on from that to the next mashup pack, or the next texture pack, because we've moved away from mashup packs back into the texture pack realm, probably anyway. Okay, so we're here in the Mass Effect edition. My game crashed the first time I tried to do this, so I have seen these two blocks before. Because the first comment I made was like, this mycelium looks like it's a furnace. I mean, if I didn't know that like this hadn't been moved around, I'd be like, yeah, this is totally a furnace. And I've tried left triggering it, and it just doesn't work. So yeah, that's mycelium, which is actually a pretty cool looking block. Like, I think mushroom biomes are going to be extra weird when it's like this, so maybe I should try Mass Effect Texture Pack Survival. But either way, let's move on from that to this soul sand, which, again, kind of interesting. Probably one of the best looking blocks, in fact, because of the really cool glow to it, and definitely makes the nether cooler, unlike the dirt and the sponges. But the sponges, again, all the blocks in this one seem to be mixed all over the place. That's one of the things the Mass Effect Texture Pack does well. But in this case, it means that sponge is a really nice looking bizarre block here, which I don't understand it, but that's how things are. So dirt and podzol are kind of natural still. Granite looks extra terrible. Bedrock looks kind of bearable. The netherrack, not too big a fan of, but the fire on top of it, I mean, it's not on the blocks we're talking about, but that is some really nice fire, isn't it? So, yeah, moving on from that, we've got the dead bush and the shrub, of course, and then finally we've got gravel, which is an extra level of bad. This might be the worst gravel ever, in fact. So, I mean, again, I admire the artist for being able to be that good at it. So, moving on from gravel, we've got the best looking blocks, because just over here we've got red mushroom, which is a crate. Actually, I could see that being used in some cool ways. Then we've got some chiseled quartz and some regular quartz. Again, entirely different to each other. Wait. Oh, actually, I think those two blocks. This is... my bad, my mistake. This is lapis lazuli, no. Which, to be fair, it looks a lot less like lapis lazuli, but that's that right there. Then we've got, of course, emerald, which looks like the red mushroom block probably should. And we've got slimes, which... Is that a skull? No, that's not a skull. Then we've got the, of course, sea lantern based block. So sea lantern looking pretty cool, like some form of Mass Effect thing, I'm sure, but super spooky and stuff. We've got the diamond block, which has got the weird logo on it, which I don't like at all. But then prismarine's at least interesting. So yeah, the Mass Effect texture pack is one I've never been too big a fan of because everything's just too weird for me. But looking over here at the soul sand being its interesting self and the mycelium, I think it'd be really great if you like bad looking blocks in vanilla, but you like the actual functionality, but you want them to look good. Then this one's got you covered, because four of these, 10 worst looking blocks are really, really cool in the Mass Effect texture pack. So, yeah, that's that right there. Also, look at this. The redstone looks great in here too. Anyway, yeah, let's move on from this one to the next one, shall we? Okay, so here we are in the natural texture pack, and the natural texture pack is one that's always, it's never particularly exciting to me, because it's like, yeah, this is like the default textures, but they gave them a small twist, and that's really what it is here. I think podzol has an interesting kind of leafy effect that makes it better than its normal one. I think granite has a nice effect to that too, gives it this weird kind of fade out thing, and yeah, in general, I like netherrack as well. So even though a lot of the blocks are very similar, I think some of them look quite a bit better in this, which is kind of nice, including gravel. Yeah, gravel's not quite so hateable over here, which is nice, I guess. Then we got the best looking blocks again. I don't know if there's even too much change to comment on here. Like the red mushroom's kind of different. The slime is actually yeah, it's all kind of the same. This has a different pattern, of course, and this doesn't have the same glow to it, and it's also looking quite different. But everything else looks very similar to its default texture pack look on the best side of things. So I'd argue these 10 probably still are the best looking blocks, these texture pack, but as a nice benefit, the podzol is a lot better, the granite's a lot better, and in fact, yeah, I just say all 4 of these blocks are quite a bit better, including gravel, so 5, I guess. So that's good progress. Lots of good looking blocks in the natural texture pack, as it turns out. So yeah, with that said, let's move on to what would be the Little Big Planet mashup pack, but because I'm doing that last, it's going to be the plastic texture pack. I wanted to believe it was going to be the plastic texture pack, but it's actually the pattern texture pack, which is a lot cooler in a lot of ways, because it has probably the best soul sand texture in the game, because it's animated. That's right, the soul sand has like animated souls, and this is the coolest thing to me. Like, I think this is one of the better looking blocks, not only because it's animated, but the way the souls go through it is just so appealing to stare at. Like, I just kind of like it a lot. So, Mycelium's not so terrible either. Sponge is, I don't know what Sponge is all about, but it's interesting at the least. Then we've got, of course, to the right of that, we've got some dirt, we've got some Podzol. Podzol's got a nice kind of red effect, but Granite's just, it's spacey blue for some reason. Bedrock, interesting. Netherrack looks like Nether Brick, and also just has the wackest pattern, but I guess this is the pattern texture pack. And then Gravel also has some kind of pattern on it, which is nice if you like Gravel having a use. Finally, we've got these, which don't have any pattern, and instead they're just kind of dead stuff, so we'll punch those and pretend those don't exist anymore. So, moving on from that, let's show you the rest over here, because we've got the red mushroom, which is a pink mushroom in this, lapis lazuli, chiseled quartz. I kind of like chiseled quartz, actually, as well as the regular quartz there. Oh, broke the slime block, which is, by the way, slightly light blue. I really do like this color for slime, probably the best out of any. I'd argue if I could make the regular slimes this, I would. But of course, we've got emerald next to that. We've got diamonds over here. And then we've got prismarine, really nice multicolored block. Prismarine brick, which I'm not sure I like that pattern. And then the sea lantern over here, which is actually a pretty cool block because of how it glows yellow and stuff. So yeah, those are the 10 best and worst blocks in the pattern texture pack. Next one is definitely plastic though, so let's move over to there. So the thing about the plastic texture pack is, like the natural texture pack, they were the two earliest ones to be introduced, and as a result, both of their styles are very much based on vanilla. So if you look around, it's like, yep, that's Mycelium, but a little bit more blocky. That's soul sand, but with a giant skull, which actually is kind of nice. That's some sponge and some dirt, which is the most boring block ever. And then we got Podzol, which... it's orange. I do like orange, but it's, I mean, just look at it. Granite's, I guess, kind of nicer than normal. Bedrock, also, you know, more clear and obvious, I guess. Netherrack, never been a big fan of it, but I could see why people would like it. Dead bushes and the shrubs, again, not really too much blocky, but that's kind of that. Gravel actually is, you know, because you can't see too much, it's kind of more bearable like that, so it's got that going on for it. And then the best looking blocks, again, they're just kind of their regular things, but a bit more detailed. So this looks like an eyeball, the lapis lazuli. This is the same as normal, but it has 4 on each side rather than like a 3-sided dice. Then we've got chiseled quartz and regular quartz, super normal. Same goes, by the way, the exact same pattern is diamond and emerald too, so they look like eyeballs. If you want to make eyes for a big build, these things have got you covered, I guess. Then we got prismarine brick, and sea lanterns. Sea lanterns, I do quite like the fact that it's not just a square, but besides that, like, there's just so little to comment on this one. It's just like, oh yeah, I like the big skull. It was nicer than lots of little skulls. Or maybe I'm just unfair to this texture pack. Either way, we're going to move on to it, to a more exciting one, which is either Steampunk or Skyrim. I'm always pleased to leave the plastic texture pack behind, and to move on to the Skyrim one is pretty cool, because Skyrim is one of my favourite Elder Scrolls. It's probably, yeah, it's my second favourite Elder Scrolls game, which isn't really actually saying too much. But anyway, into it we must go by talking about the Mycelium over here. So Mycelium has a super bizarre kind of, I don't really know if I like it too much look to it, but I guess there's that. Soul Sand has a very bizarre kind of wildflower growing outfit, which is interesting to say the least. But then of course we've got the wait, what is this over here? I haven't entirely gone. Sponges, I guess? Which actually, I like the way it changes from this to that. Like, this is probably one of the cooler changes from dry sponge to wet sponge. Like, it just seems to fill up. I guess it's like a barrel that's filled with water, maybe? I'm not entirely sure, but that's kind of cool, I guess. Podzol just looks like grass. In fact, is it just grass? No, that's not grass. It's very similar, though, which is beneficial, if that's your thing. Granite is, nope, no comment there besides bad. I guess that's a comment, isn't that? But yeah, then we've got Bedrock. We've got Netherrack, which is yellow for reasons. Also, it's red when you punch it, I guess. Maybe that's why. Then we've got the dead bush and the shrub. Again, pretty standard stuff. Followed by gravel, which is a super dark ugly in this one. So that's nice. That's kind of cool. But then we look at the best looking blocks, and you can see this is where the texture pack starts to shine, because red mushroom blocks are icy colored, which I could see that being used to make some really cool ice pillars without making them out of ice, which is nice, I guess. Then we've got next to that lapis lazuli here, I think. I don't know actually entirely what this is. In fact, let me check. Is it? Yeah, this is lapis lazuli over here. It's a really cool, you know, kind of blue-orange blend. I don't know what you'd use this for, but I do just, you know, the detail, looking at it over there, just looks really cool to me, but maybe it looks too much like a circus fair. Either way, I quite like it, because the chiseled quartz is also pretty great. It looks like a dragon, almost, and that's always a cool thing too, right? So then we've got over here the emerald block, which, it looks like there's a bunch of fur on it. We've got the slime block, which is white. We've got the diamond block over here, as well as the regular quartz block. I guess, okay, that does make sense. But finally, we've got the prismarine / water monument based blocks, which are pretty cool, I guess. I mean, I don't like them as much as, yeah, a lot of these ones have been pretty bad. I really liked one of the prismarine bricks, but not most of these. And then we got the sea lantern, which is also pretty good. So Skyrim texture pack, all in all, I like the sponge a lot, especially the wet sponge divide. I think the soul sand and the netherrack are interesting, I guess. And I also really like these two blocks here. Like this, I looked at the building over there, and it's like, yeah, there's something just great about this kind of dragon look it has, and I do quite like that. So yeah, let's move on from Skyrim to this steampunk, which is the last multi-platform one we've got here. Okay, so finally we have the steampunk texture pack, and the steampunk texture pack is one that I always find at least interesting. You know, I don't actually use it ever, I don't think, but I do every now and like check stuff out and be like, oh, yeah, that's kind of interesting. And it looks like this is gonna follow that rule, because looking at mycelium, oh yeah, that's kind of nice. Looking at soul sand, oh, that's kind of spooky. I don't know what the word is, like bizarre, I guess. I was gonna say spooky, but that's not right. Then we've got some sponges over here, which again, they've got faces on them, if you look closely, which, if you like faces on your sponges, then boy, are you in for a treat with all of these, because then we've got dirt and podzol, which, I don't know, again, I'm not too fond of, but, you know, they're meant to look bad, and if they are, they're doing a pretty good job, because granite, along the same lines, it's a nice color, but the texture's just a bit too ugly for me. Bedrock is a really nice kind of way of, like, you know, signifying, like, oh yeah, there are fossils down there, you just can't mine them or anything, so I quite like that, I guess. Then we've got netherrack, which is just amazing. Like, look at this thing, it's just, this is the coolest block ever, in my opinion. This is the coolest netherrack ever, I'd say. And then, of course, we've got some cool fire to go along with that, which is pretty awesome. Dead bushes and shrubs, never gonna look particularly amazing, are they? And then we've got, of course, gravel over here, which I do quite like. It's like a normal old block. I could probably use this in a build somewhere as a pathway or something. So yeah, that's good progress on the last three here. We've got great bedrock, great netherrack, like excellent netherrack, I should say, and then also some pretty cool gravel. So as far as the best looking blocks go, we've got a kind of ugly red mushroom block. We've got a interesting lapis emerald diamond thing where it's the same gold thing around the corner again. Never a big fan of that, but it is kind of interesting. And they have the same, wait, these two have the same at least, or at least they look similar on the inside. I don't know what that is, but it's not the best of looking blocks if you use these decoratively. So pretty good for survival, because these will never come up. What will come up in survival is these, this though, I guess, and this. Again, quartz looks pretty cool. Chiseled quartz look pretty cool, I guess, and so does the slime block. So pretty cool stuff there. Finally, we've got prismarine brick, which I do quite like, so it has an octopus for reasons that aren't truly explained. And we've got prismarine, which I think might have an animated texture if we stare for long enough. We should probably not get into that game. And then we've got the sea lantern over here, which again, always a big fan of the sea lantern. I think in this texture pack, it looks pretty cool too. So yeah, this is the last multi-platform one, like I mentioned. We do have one more texture pack to go through though, because it is the Little Big Planet mashup pack. It's a PlayStation exclusive, so we're going to load up the PS4, try and do something like this, and show you all of the blocks in there. Because otherwise people will be like, you know what, Toycat, you missed that one. And that's not good enough for me. So let's go over there now. And here we are now in the Little Big Planet mashup pack. My favourite mashup pack, I'd say. It's a shame it's a PlayStation 4 exclusive, or I choose it more, because I just love the soundtrack and love the happiness it brings. Anyway, yeah, I've actually entirely lost things. I'm doing things in obviously a different world, because different console, different world. And here are the 10 worst looking blocks once more in this mashup pack. So, looking across here, I'm seeing mycelium. Is it looking so terrible? Like, it's bad. It looks like a pair of underwear on like a weird part of dirt, but you know, not too bad in general, or like a weird covered top, but still not as bad as it can look in a lot of other ones, so that's nice. Soul sand has stars on it, and I love me some stars. Sponge, yeah, we'll move on from sponge, I guess, to dirt, which is, I guess, pretty average. Podzol has the same thing going on, where it's just like a weird covering layer, but it's like kind of flat and even and stuff, which again, I actually kind of like in this particular case. Following on that bite with granite, which looks like a nice crate. Again, I think for survival, this is really, really great, because you can just grab it and make some cool builds with that. Then, of course, we've got the bedrock over here, followed by netherrack, which netherrack looked like a bunch of weird blocks stick together. It almost looked like a brick block in some ways, and that's kind of cool, I guess. Followed by, of course, the dead bush and the shrubs. So these blocks are both interesting, to say the least. And in case you're curious as to where the gravel is, because, you know, it suddenly goes off on edge, this is actually a, you know, like a sky village thing. So there's gravel everywhere we can look at, including here. And yeah, gravel looks good. I mean, I could just be biased because I'm seeing so much of it, but look around, like, gravel looks really, really cool in this particular mashup pack. So, I like it. I like it. That's pretty cool. I'm glad that that is the way it is. So, gravel, not terrible. That's or like, not good even. Gravel, good. That's, you can quote that if you want to. So, yeah, moving on from that, we've got the red mushroom block. Pretty cool if you ask me. I don't have any real complaints. The inside's a bit weird, but the outside and the actual block you use yourself, pretty cool right there. Lapis lazuli, no complaints here. Just chiseled quartz. It has a nice chiseling to it, although it's really different to what regular quartz is, so I don't know how you chisel the color out. But regular quartz, by the way, regular quartz really actually does have this nice kind of look to it. So, emerald also has a super weird glow to it in this too. And then, of course, we've got diamonds, which is, I don't know why they're like that, but they are. Followed by the sea lantern, which is amazing. Like, look at that. It just... I don't know, that's kind of cool if you ask me. And the prismarine brick and the prismarine. So, yeah, everything's a little bit weird in this. In particular, gravel, which is, like, bearable to look at, which is a real change. And, yeah, in general, I like it. I like it. So, yeah, these are all of the 10 best and worst looking blocks in each texture pack. There was something like 300 blocks I showed you, so hopefully you did all enjoy it. If you did, and, like, the kind of, I don't know how long this actually be when you see it, but, like, however long it's going to be edited down to, hopefully you'd all enjoy it. If you do, please do like it and let me know. Share if you really liked it, and subscribe if you're new around here. I make videos like this one every single day on my channel, and if you want to stay up to date with the latest Minecraft stuff and whatnot, then you can subscribe, and you'll see it daily on your homepage. So thank you all very much for watching, and goodbye.